baseball. And it seems like whenever there's a Giant on the hill, there's a chance to have a very strong performance. Orland tonight, it's one of their horses in Matt Cain.
Yeah, an outstanding young pitcher. He's really grown up before our very eyes. Broke in at 20 years old, now in his 6th season as a big leaguer, his 189th start. And this young man broke in as a bulldog. Like a bull in a china shop, he threw the ball very, very hard fastball, hard curveball. But over the years, he has learned to add a cutter and a changeup. And now he really is a complete pitcher. At 7-5, he made his 2nd All-Star team this year. He's a significant part of this rotation and a key to the return champions really making another run.
Well, he's going to try and get out Carlos Beltran. Easier said than done, Bobby, these days. He's hitting .362 over the last several weeks, really tearing the cover off the ball. Who knows who he's going to be playing for after the All-Star game, but right now it's with the New York Mets.
It is the New York Mets today in the National League for the All-Star game. For the 5th time as a New York Met, 6th time in his career. He's having an outstanding season, and he's given Terry Collins and these young Mets the veteran leadership that they need. 289 batting average, 13 home runs, 58 RBIs, but a presence about him from both sides of the plate that can bring a championship to any team that he plays with. The Mets think they're in it. If they feel like they're not, he'll be with someone who's going to go to the finish line, and he'll help them get there.
Well, the Mets getting terrific contributions out of him, but as we bring in Wendy Nix for the first time tonight, Wendy, they're also getting them out of a rookie in Justin Turner.
They certainly are. Justin, you've had a tremendous first half. So too is your team, above 500 at the All-Star break when many did not think that would be the case. For those not in this clubhouse on a daily basis, how do you describe this team?
Fun, exciting. You know, it starts with Jose Reyes at the top of the lineup, and he's the most exciting player in the game. And if you watch him on a daily basis, you really get to see how much fun and how much he enjoys playing the game. And I think that's kind of worn off on everyone in the clubhouse. And we just show up every day, really enjoy the game, have fun, and we've been having success that way.
Your manager did tell us, though, that this All-Star break could not come at a better time. Why is that?
You know, we got some guys there with some bumps and bruises. You know, Jose's out. It gives us about 3 or 4 more days for David to get healthy and get back in the lineup. And we've been battling right now with a lot of our big pieces missing, and we're doing a pretty good job. And hopefully we get them back and keep going.
Justin, thank you. Buster?
Well, you found out early today you're an all-star for the first time. How did you get that news?
You know, my manager, Bruce Bush, called me around 9:30 in the morning, you know, once the wake-up call, you know, excited, being there.
Now, you've got a 20-game hitting streak. How long did it take you to get the strength back in your hand after you had surgery earlier this year?
You know, it took me 6 days, you know, to get back, play hard, you know. That's what when I came back, I just want to play hard, do my things, help my team, you know, get a wins.
Thanks. Dave, back to you.
All right, thanks, Buster. And coming up on tonight's show, some vivid all-star memories, including a Roberto Clemente highlight that you have got to see. A look around the majors on the last Sunday before the All-Star game on Tuesday with our Baseball Tonight crew. And burning questions from the AL and the NL. Tight races in all 6 divisions. Still to come on Sunday Night Baseball. And Giants right-hander Matt Cain is heading to the hill for his first pitch of the night. It's the Giants and the Mets coming up next.
return for the wall. 56 years passed. The team moved west. The Polo Grounds disappeared. There were flashes, but mostly heartbreak. Until last year. After the final out, Willie Mays slipped out of the room. He didn't want anyone to see him cry. 483 feet are a moment of privacy to remember the past. Distance means everything.
And on a sparkling evening in San Francisco for Sunday Night Baseball, the fans gathering around the Willie Mays statue right out front. Willie Mays, 24 All-Star games. And finally a World Series championship banner in 2010. So tonight here on Sunday Night Baseball, it's the Mets and the Giants as they wrap it up. It's presented by Taco Bell. Matt Cain against fellow right-hander Mike Pelfrey. Giants coming in first place. And the Mets have been surprisingly good in terms of having a winning record to this point. Well, follow Buster Olney and Wendy Nix on Twitter and on Facebook. You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/ESPN Baseball Tonight. Matt Cain finishing up his warm-up tosses, 7-5 with a 3.22 ERA. And the Mets managed by Terry Collins, when with Jose Reyes and David Wright injured, not to mention Johan Santana, they have been a resilient team, refusing to fold. They keep on competing. Let's take a look at the Mets starting lineup now, brought to you by Taco Bell. Angel Pagan in center, Justin Turner, the youngster, at second base, Carlos Beltran really hot in right. David Murphy, the third baseman. Jason Bay is also heating up. He's in left. Lucas Duda, the big first baseman. Ronnie Polino is the catcher. Ruben Tejada at shortstop. And Mike Pelfrey is the pitcher and number 9 hitter, facing a 26-year-old from Alabama, Matt Cain.
Matt Cain, you say 26. He's been here since he was 20 years old. This is his 189th start, but he has grown as a pitcher, and we see his strikeout to walk ratio this year at 3.37. Well, look how it has gotten better every year he's been here in the big leagues. This young man continues to attack the strike zone and execute his off-speed pitches, and that is getting better.
So the first pitch on a very sunny evening here in San Francisco. Eventually those shadows are really going to be a factor, but right now the diamond soaking up the sun, and the first one to Pagan is in there for a strike. He's leading off with Jose Reyes out, Bobby. Of course, Pagan out with that hamstring. I should say Reyes out with that hamstring injury, and Pagan hitting .253 and 18 stolen bases, so he can run.
He's a very capable player. Last year, outstanding. First time as a regular. Injured earlier this year, but now coming back into his own. Has power, speed, and defensive ability.
Looking to drop down a bunt. Cain off the hill and guns him down. Now defensively, here's a look at the San Francisco Giants. They've got a Gold Glover in left field. And Aaron Rowan. Torres can really run. He's in center. Shearholtz has a good arm in right field. Tejada is playing third base with Crawford at shortstop, Fontenot at second base. Pablo Sandoval at first base as Huff is out. He's slumping. Eli Whiteside is the catcher, receiving Matt Cain. Sandoval at first base just found out he has been selected to the All-Star team as Turner flies that one foul. Long run for Pablo, and he won't get to it. So Sandoval, who is swinging a great bat right now, is in 20 consecutive games, manning first.
Playing a great third base for Bruce Bochy's team this year, but moved over to first base today so that they get a little different look with Fontenot in the lineup.
Fouled off by Turner. Bruce Bochy, the Giant manager, said before the game, well, Aubrey Huff is slumping badly right now, and it'll be good to have 3 days off the All-Star break, but he says he needs 4.
Well, he gave him the day off, and Pablo moved across the diamond, and he'll do a great job over there. The defense has really come along since he's dropped the weight from last year.
Trickle to the shortstop, Crawford, who they really like defensively, and he guns down Turner. 2 up and 2 down. And now comes Carlos Beltran.
Right fielder, number 15, Carlos Beltran.
I wonder if there might have been some reaction by the fans, because earlier this week Beltran was asked, as he seems to get asked every day, what about this team? What about this team? would you consider a trade to this ball club? And they asked him about the Giants, and he seemed to indicate yes, he would waive his no trade.
He heard there was an extra seat on their charter from here down to Arizona, trying to make good with the manager.
Yeah, indeed, he will be on their charter to Phoenix after this one is over. Chosen to his 6th All-Star team. He's very close with Andres Torres of the Giants. They're very good friends. Bruce Bochy said, yep, I'll probably ask my wife to sit several rows back for this particular flight, just this one time, so I can talk with Carlos. Chopper, backhanded by Sandoval. Kane gets to the bag for the out. And it's a fast start for the right-hander Matt Kane. He gets them 1-2-3 on just 10 pitches. And the Giants are coming up at home. The bun, and in part by Cabot. Finish like a pro with Cabot wood stains. Cabot, that's a pro. And by Volvo. Pay nothing to repair or maintain your new Volvo for the first 5 years. Pleasure to be with you on this Sunday night from San Francisco. Andres Torres marching up to take his first cuts against Mike Pelfrey. No score after a half inning as we take a look at the San Francisco Giants starting lineup, brought to you by Taco Bell. Torres, then Mike Fontenot in there at second base. Sandoval at first. Nate Scherholtz, the cleanup man. Miguel Tejada at third. Aaron Rowan at left. Brandon Crawford, the shortstop. Eli Whiteside does the catching with Matt Kane, the pitcher, batting ninth. Pelfrey 5 and 7 coming in.
Well, Mike Pelfrey on the mound at 6'7" has had an inconsistent career so far, but you see against the National League West this year, 4-0. And Mike has a problem of getting his fastball up too often. He seems to do well at home, but not very well on the road. Well, this road park will play like his home field.
Torres is switch hitter, hitting just .225 with 3 homers and 14 RBIs, but a real flyer. You see that slump he's in, 6 out of his last 42. In for a strike.
Here's the elusive curveball Terry Collins was talking about. He needs it to win. Throws the first one over for a strike.
Collins was telling us before the game he had a start where it just appeared out of nowhere. You know, he's a sinker, slider, splitter guy, but he found it all of a sudden. Up and in, 2-2. Pelfrey's only other start in San Francisco was in May of 2009, a 2-0 loss. Best remembered because he committed 3 balks in the game. And a breaking ball is inside, 3-2.
Earl, when you're struggling with your control during the season, I really don't like seeing a breaking ball on 2-2. It narrows you down to a fastball on 3-2.
Got him. 92. He struck him out, 1 gone.
Fastballs have been all up, and that scares me already.
Torres is a little more disciplined, he'd be standing over there at first base. And what they'll learn about Mike Pelfrey, if he doesn't make an adjustment, is that they will not have to swing very often if he throws the fastball up there.
Here's Mike Fontenot in at second base tonight. He takes ball one. Mike hitting just .207.
He brings energy to the game. Bruce is looking for a little additive. Right now his team is tired. Going into this All-Star break, and they're hoping that Mike can just spark them a little here in the number 2 spot.
I think he also took a look at his career batting average, as you guys look at everything, against the Mets, which is .343. And hopefully figures that'll translate tonight into a couple of hits. Pablo Sandoval on deck. Pablo got a big ovation when he was announced as an All-Star before the game by the crowd here at AT&T. Slapped the other way and rolled for a base hit. So Fontenot is on with one man out, and Sandoval coming up, the hottest hitter on the Giants. Well, another big ovation for a very popular player, Kung Fu Panda. Another reason to like him so much is he's hitting 20 in a row. He had 2 more hits last night. Fly to center field. Pagan there as it hangs up into the sun. 2 down. The Giants coming into the weekend, the only team in the majors who had not scored more than 6 runs in a home game. We talked in the open about their offensive struggles. That's not exactly a headline, but I find that one amazing. At home, they can't get 7 runs. Not yet, anyway.
They haven't. Yeah, well, that's because they're not hitting in the bottom of the ninth that often. They have a very good home record.
Exactly.
With all of those close wins and a standout closer in there for a strike on Nate Schierholtz. 287 homers, 30 RBIs for Schierholtz.
Schierholtz, one of the best all-around athletes on this Giant team. He could run, throw, hit with power.
Up the middle for a base hit. Fontenot in a second, mishandled by Pagan out there. Both runners will move up to second and third. Pagan with a bobble.
Yeah, that ball just took an up hop that should have been caught easily. There he is in between hops, just like in the infield. You want to come, you want to get that ball in a short hop or a long hop, but he did not know the runner. You look at the runner early to see if he's going hard. He wasn't. He thought maybe he was going to try to stretch it. He overplayed it, and now it's second and third. And the Giants, this is a really big scoring opportunity for Giants. Don't get many of them.
And it's Miguel Tejada going after the first pitch, hitting .240 with 3 homers. He's actually made a start at second base this week for the first time in his career. Bruce Bochy doing whatever he can to get as many bats in that lineup as possible. It's a single and an E8. Fontenot at third, Schierholtz at second. Pelfrey trying to get out of it. 2 down. High pop up in a short left. And Bay is there to make the catch. And Pelfrey pitches around the mistake by his center fielder. Giants don't get a whole lot of chances like that. They strand 2. Bay will be the second man up when we come back to San Francisco. 6-1. The New York Mets coming up for the second time against Matt Cain. And because he pitches tonight, he will not be playing in the All-Star game in Phoenix.
We could have a pretty good game with the guys who are not playing, the All-Stars who are not playing in the All-Star game, huh? We'll have that after the season.
15 or 16 of them, Bobby, in the last couple of days have given up their All-Star spots.
Well, some of 5 or 6 of them are starting pitchers that are pitching on Sunday that by rule cannot attend.
That's the same with Cain here tonight, obviously. Facing Murphy, who takes the ball high. Jason Bay on deck, then Lucas Duda. Mets in third place at 46 and 44 in the National League East. A flick foul by Murphy, hitting .306, swinging a very good bat.
Any way they can to get Murphy in the lineup. The Mets need offense. He's swinging a hot bat. Terry Collins really needs his bat to stay alive, and the guy on deck, Jason Bay, also has been hot.
Roped and by the diving Sandoval down the right field line, heading into the corner. Scherholz will dig it out on the warning track, and Murphy is into second base. This is a guy hitting almost .360 his last 48 games.
Swings the bat well. Doesn't have a defensive position, but is a contributor every day on offense. He's on second base now. Here, this cutter comes in a little on his hands. Hits it very nicely, Earl. Gets the front side firm. Hits it by Pablo at first. Ball was up a little more than he wanted to and not in quite as much, but line drive double, and probably the one guy on the team who does not hit the ball to right field very often is Jason Bay.
Bay hitting .241. He's homered 6 times, but he's finally beginning to feel like his old self, he says. Like the one who drove in 119 runs for the Red Sox 2 years ago and had 2 30 home run seasons in Pittsburgh. Way outside 2-0.
Yeah, he's a pull hitter. Did very well in Boston. Hit well in Pittsburgh, where he's able to pull the ball out of the ballpark. He likes the ball middle and up so that he can pull it, but I think even with a 2-0 count here, he's going to try to drive it to right center field.
Murphy at second, popped up. Is it playable? Here comes Sandoval. It will be. He's battling the sun near the coach's box, and he's got it. One man out. Well, how about what occurred earlier today in Germany? The U.S. Women's World Cup soccer team defeating Brazil on penalty kicks. Abby Wambach's goal with seconds left in the second overtime, tied at 2-2. Just a remarkable comeback, and then won it on penalty kicks to beat the favored Brazilian side. Now, Javi Lopez, who's in the Giants bullpen, right there in the middle, he watched the game with his wife Renee, who played varsity soccer at the University of Virginia. He said, honestly, I thought it was one of the greater team efforts I've ever seen in any sport.
Great for the women, and I'll tell you somebody else who was watching that. That was Mia Garcia Parra, Ham, along with Nomar. They both love soccer for good reason.
Mia is there. She's a Goodwill ambassador, doing some broadcast work as well. Lucas Duda here. Abby scoring that game-tying goal. They won it 5-3 on PKs. And a replay of that match with Brazil, the quarterfinal, midnight Eastern time on ESPN2, 9 o'clock Pacific. You should watch it if you missed it. Trust me. Scintillating. Duda, a .226 hitter. And a big, big dude. 6'4", about 255.
When he gets it all together, he's got some pop. You see no home runs there, but big guys with big swings and a lot of strength.
1 out, 1 on. Popped him up, but foul, back out of play. What do you guys think about all these all-star defections now? It seems way more than normal. Setting the guys who pitch on Sunday aside because the rules prohibit them from then playing in the all-star game. Start with you, Oral. What do you think? Is this out of hand? Too many guys were bailing on the all-star game?
I feel like the players are not giving it enough, where they really need to go, and they give back to baseball and to the fans. If the fans are going to vote you into the game, I think you need to show up. I know if you're hurt, legitimately hurt, surgery like Alex Rodriguez on the DL, yeah, but But if you're just going to come up with an injury or a reason why not to come, I don't think it's the right thing.
I certainly agree with you. It's definitely not the right thing. This game is played, not only the All-Star game, but the entire game of baseball is played for the fans. The fans want to see an exhibition, and now this exhibition game
Little tapper toward first, but foul.
Decides who has home field advantage for our World Series. How you could decide that you're not going to play because you have a little stiffness or a little soreness, or basically you don't want to go and spend 2 days of your 3-day break playing in this exhibition, it's beyond me. And I really believe if you get selected and you don't go and you have a bonus in your contract, you have to give that bonus to a charity in your community. Give it back to the fans who wanted to see you. Because you're not there, at least they'll get something.
That brings up Derek Jeter. Now, Jeter has done so much for baseball, so much for the Yankees, 3,000 hits in spectacular fashion the other day, has said he's not going to the All-Star game, at least as of this hour.
I would hope that he would go. I hope Derek, if he's listening, would think about, going because of the moment that he could have. And maybe it could be his last All-Star game.
Could be. Sure.
There's no guarantee that he's going to make another team.
Duda pops this one up. The center fielder, Torres. And that's the second out. And I know second base.
Derek's answer is probably going to be something like, well, I feel like I just got off the DL. My calf is still a little bit irritated, but I'm playing through it. I know I've had great games, and I need to rest for my team because I judge accomplishments on World Series championships. And I understand the reasoning, but I also understand that there's a greater cause.
And I get that. And he might have a sore calf, but Bud Selig, get on the phone, send your jet to see Derek, have him fly in and throw out a first pitch. Be there ceremoniously for baseball because he just got his 3,000th hit, the only Yankee to ever do that. Let the fans in Arizona of baseball acknowledge that great feat and the great player that he's been.
As you saw by the record, 83 All-Stars and counting, more than any in history to this point. Ronnie Polino, the hitter, with a man at second base and no score in the second.
The fan that caught Derek's 3,000th hit, the home run, gave the ball back. He's getting 4 tickets to Yankee games the rest of the year. He got 5 to 8 autographs from Derek. Absolutely loved the moment. Well, that moment needs to be shared with
totally.
Baseball.
He gets it. The fan Lopez gets it.
There were estimates that ball could have been worth up to $1 million.
He wanted to give back to the player. The players need to give back to the fans. End of conversation.
And we are saying this respectfully to Derek. We are not getting on him other than he has made great decisions throughout his whole career. He's a role model for all baseball players in the way he has conducted himself, how he's performed on the field, off the field, in the toughest environment in baseball.
I think there are a lot of players who get it. Thank goodness that's the case in Major League Baseball. None more than Jeter.
No, he gets it. He and Mariano Rivera are the role models of role models.
Another pop up here to the right side. Fontenot with that glove up against his eyes, but makes the catch. So Kane gives up the leadoff double, but nothing comes of that. He gets the next 3 men in order. Still nothing in San Francisco. public address announcer for the Giants, also a well-known local radio personality. Brooks Moon took over as the Giants PA announcer, replacing another female announcer, Sherry Davis. The Giants moved from Candlestick here to AT&T. Currently the only female PA address announcer in Major League Baseball. They're doing tremendous work here in San Francisco. As you see, the shadows are beginning to creep toward home plate as Aaron Rowan gets in. The third, Murphy scoops it up to his left. One man out. And Oral, when does this start to become a factor in the game, these shadows?
Well, definitely as soon as it gets about 3 or 4 feet out in front of home plate, will start to affect them. But really more than that, probably about 10 or 15 feet is when it really gets to the point where the hitters will be distracted. But some of the guys that get a little anxiety just because the lighting is changing, right around home plate is where they'll start thinking about it.
Right now, not any kind of a factor as Brandon Crawford, the shortstop, gets in to hit. A rookie out of UCLA looking to bunt but takes a strike.
And to the San Francisco Giants' credit, they have a Nate Schulholz batting fourth on this team and doing a real fine job and developing as the year goes on. And this Brandon Crawford is their shortstop. Moving on, defending the World Championship with a rookie at shortstop. Very difficult to do, but they had the confidence in Buster Posey last year to come in behind the plate as a rookie. He carried them to the World Championship, and now he's looking for contributions from these two young men, and I think they both have the talent and ability to do just that.
Crawford's certainly doing it defensively, hitting just .207 coming into play tonight, but he can play big league shortstop.
He has better range than anybody they have on the team, and Bruce Bochy said his at-bats, even though the numbers don't show it, have been getting better, and they are credible. He takes it deep, he hits it hard, and eventually he's going to have the numbers to support the effort.
Well, you just watch him take the pitch, like right there. You can tell the game is slowing down for him. He's gathering all the information of what's happening in front of him, and he's making adjustments, and he's having a fine approach at the plate.
The 2-2 from Pelfrey hit the other way along the line. Bay measuring that, makes the play as he slides into some shadow. Fine sliding catch there by Bay for the second out. So 2 gone. Well, join ESPN tomorrow night for the 2011 State Farm Home Run Derby. Some of the top sluggers in baseball swing for the fences. Chris Berman, John Kruk, and Omar Garcia-Parra will be on hand to announce each crack of the bat. The 2011 State Farm Home Run Derby live from Chase Field tomorrow night at 8 Eastern on ESPN. That's the view from the press box. Pretty much the best seats in the house here in San Francisco. Flare to right field off the bat of Whiteside. That drops for a base hit. That's the third hit against Pelfrey for San Francisco, although it does come right in front of the pitcher.
Eli Whiteside has really filled in admirably for Buster Posey. A lot of people around baseball didn't think he would hit over 200. Now 226 with that hit and rising.
Without question, for both of you guys, the most controversial thing that happened in the first half of the baseball season, was it the collision that knocked Buster Posey out for the year?
Well, I think the most controversial was the two managers quitting on their teams. One when they were as hot as can be, one when they were as cold as could be in Florida, and walked away from what many people think is the most treasured job in baseball.
Kane takes outside, ball 1.
But Buster's was traumatic to this team, and something that we had to talk about. Everyone saw. We've seen a collision similar to this 10 or 15 times, but an injury did not occur exactly since then. And so the Buster Posey collision has been a topic of conversation.
And it's one of the few places in baseball that there can be a collision that the players can cause, and there's no rule against it.
Right after third baseman Murphy makes the catch, although Kane hit it fairly well. 1 man left. A Baseball Tonight update when we come back to San Francisco. That's a tremendous seat. They've seen no runs to this point after 2.
to Dave, Oral, and Bobby, guys.
Ravi, gentlemen, thank you very much. Safe flight on to Phoenix.
Those two guys are having great offensive years, and the guy outside of the continental United States, north of the border, has to be given a lot of credit. Jose Bautista with 31 home runs, hitting 300, and having as good offensive years anyone in baseball.
And we'll see him in the home run derby as well. Chosen by David Ortiz to be part of that American League team. Here's Ruben Tejada, the young shortstop at 267, no home runs. Young indeed, just 21 years old, from Panama. Made his major league debut last year for the Mets. Played for the Panama 2009 World Baseball Classic team as well. He'll be followed by Pelfrey, the pitcher, and then Angel Pagan for the New York Mets, who just won't go under, even though many are predicting that with Reyes out, with Wright not yet healthy, and Santana, who knows if he's coming back or not some point this year. They might get him back, they think, in September. They're hoping. And yet they continue to play winning baseball, a couple of games over 500.
It's amazing how things change in the game of baseball and how perception changes. Everyone thought with the Madoff situation that the Mets would tank. They did not tank. Then they thought with the injuries they would tank. They did not tank. And now it seems that the guy who right there, Jose Reyes, who is leading all the major leagues in hits, is leading his team in RBIs and stolen bases, and one of the most dynamic players on the team, who's going to exit this team, is probably going to be with them for years to come.
That one just missed on Tejada, working the count here. Of course, there's a lot of stories about that, a lot of rumor that they're going to make that run at him now to lock him up long term. Didn't look as promising early in the season. Even the ownership of the Mets had some disparaging comments.
Talk about his skill set, how it just matches Citi Field with speed as far as for the triples, be able to hit line drives and ground balls. And the whole question really is not about his ability, is can he stay healthy? And here he is, a little nicked up right now. He's going to miss the All-Star game, but they are hoping that they can sign him.
Terry Collins loves him. You know, the new front office led by Sandy Alderson came in and started talking about on-base percentage and saying Jose's on-base percentage wasn't what a leadoff guy's should be. Now that he's leading the league in hitting, an inning over 350, I guess his on-base percentage is good enough.
Yes, sensational year as Tejada strikes out. We're talking about the midway point and Derek Jeter, the 28th member of the 3,000 hit club. But how about the way he did it? A home run off the Rays' David Price at Yankee Stadium. First player to reach 3,000 hits while wearing a Yankee uniform. Jeter was 5 for 5 on the day. Why are we surprised when Jeter pulls it off like this? Single in the first, homer in the third, double in the fifth, another single in the sixth, and an RBI single in the eighth that won the game for the Yankees 5-4.
Can't write the script. Even Derek himself said, I wouldn't buy the script. It wouldn't work. And then he goes and does it himself.
And I think a lot of things that Derek's done in his career have been over-exaggerated because of the stage that he was on, the flip at home plate, and a couple of the blue hits that he's gotten that have been very instrumental in championships. But this cannot be overplayed. No. This is the day that the spotlight is on him. 299, going for 3,000. Game-winning hit, home run.
Belfry puts it in play. Fontenot will throw on to get the pitcher. 2 up and 2 down.
That cannot be overstated. That's a great player doing an absolutely spectacular feat on the day he was supposed to do it. I think he's been the best baseball player, the best overall and all-around baseball player of our generation. He knows how to play. He has run the bases well. He's gotten big hits. He's gotten little hits. He's been there when the team has needed him day in and day out. And my hat and all of our hats are off to Derek Jeter.
Here's Pagan with the bases empty. Floats a foul out of play. He was thrown out by the pitcher his first at bat.
And to think everything that was swirling around Derek, you know, we were talking about probably going to get moved down into the 9 hole, and really is starting to slow down, and maybe they shouldn't have signed the contract with him. And he just responds after coming off the DL. He gets to 3,000 in a hurry. He does it on a homestand when there's pressure to get it done now. He admits about the pressure and says that I've been lying to you guys in the media the whole time. I've been wanting to get this done, but I wasn't going to let you know. And then he does it in such a way, you know, his championship style.
And I'm not sure that at 37 a lineup change is not in order, and that there might be some other things that need to be done with the New York Yankees in the future. But on his day, in looking back at his career, he has been the man for the Yankees.
2-1 to Pagan is outside. The Yankees making some additional news, and that Alex Rodriguez has decided he will have that meniscus tear repaired, so he's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks.
He and Chipper Jones will be a race back to the lineup.
The 3-1 fouled off and a full count on Pagan.
And the reasoning there is Alex could probably play with what he was playing with. It probably would then get worse, they were talking about. And if it gets worse and then he needs to have surgery, he might be out for September and October. And that's not good with the Yankee timing of where they are right now and where they project their season to go. So fix it now and get him ready for the end of the year.
Ball 4. So Pagan becomes the first one to take ball 4 from Matt Cain. He's on with 2 men out.
And the player who played so well, Nunez, in Derek Jeter's absence during his disabled list stint, will now have an opportunity to play side by side with Derek in the same lineup against the same pitching and continue to develop as a major league player. He's a very good offensive and defensive player. Probably fill in at third base until Alex comes back.
A good speed at first base in Pagan with 18 steals. In there for a called strike, and Whiteside has had a lot of trouble throwing out base stealers. He's been among the worst in the majors this season.
And with Cain on the mound, regardless of who's catching, they've stolen 14 out of 15 bases. No reason to stay around at first base. And a pitch out, I think you could steal with this leg kick.
Whiteside has allowed 27 stolen bases in 32 attempts against him. Turner 0 for 1. He's grounded out to short. And they do pitch out. Pagan not running.
Well, you get a jump on that leg kick. It was an abbreviated leg kick on a pitch out, which you really don't need. But if you get a jump, I think you still have a chance, and Pagan will be off to the races here.
The 1-1 he's holding here and fouled away.
That is such a good point, Bobby, that when you see pitch out as a sign, as a pitcher, you do not want to make sure the runner gets a bad jump and shuts the running game down. You want to start your delivery like it's your normal delivery and then be quick after you convince the runner it's just a normal delivery after that. But at the beginning, it is not the time to be quick. You don't want him flinching. You don't want him shutting it down because you made a quick move to home.
2-2. And you mentioned, Bobby, that Cain is a guy that you can run on. Opponents 12 for 12. The most without a caught stealing in the National League. Pagan sold 37 last year.
It's almost 14 out of 15.
Now he runs, and it's spoiled on a foul by Turner.
Prophetic.
I'm looking into the future.
You're good. You're looking like a week after the All-Star break. It's not really long term, but
might be
I like
before
it.
the day's over. They might steal 2 and throw 1 out. It'll be right on. Just telling you what's going to happen. Stay tuned.
Only caught 4 times. No score here. Runner goes again, and it's shot through the hole. Pagan touches second. He's on his way to third. Scherholz takes a shot at him. Runners on at first and third with 2 down. So Turner knocks it right through the right side for a base hit.
Turner is very proficient at hitting the ball to right field with an inside-out swing. It was a good jump. It was a steal, not a hit and run with the count 2-2. Turner knows that hole's over there, even though the shortstop's covering. He's shooting the ball to right, and Scherholz, who has one of the best arms in baseball, almost gets Pagan at third base with this very good throw because Pagan slowed up going around second.
So they're doing this with 2 down, and they get it to Beltran, who is 0 for 1 with a ground out. And he takes ball 1. Beltran, one of the top switch hitters in the game, 288 with 13 home runs. Healthy again, and the numbers are indicating that. Outside, 2-0.
The interesting thing, Dave, on that steal that the shortstop was covering, that's advanced scouting. That's knowing your opposition. That Turner does hit the ball to right field, and even with the shortstop covering, he gets his base hit to right.
Beltran trying to put the Mets on top here. He fouls it back out of play. Daniel Murphy on deck. Kane had an exceptional month of June. He went 4-0 with a 1.65 ERA. Tuesday, the Giants handed him 3 runs, which is no small thing for a Giants starter, but he lost the game to San Diego nonetheless.
Yeah, he's 17-1 when they get him 3 runs or more since 2010. So that was just a little blip on the screen. Young man is a losing pitcher in his career, 6th season now. He's 64-67. But it's not because of ability. It's because of lack of support from this Giant offense. And he's really been a tough luck loser in a lot of games since he arrived here in San Francisco.
He's fallen behind 3-1 on Beltran, who takes it outside for ball 4, and that loads up the bases. So Kane started the inning with 8-9-1 coming up by striking out Tejada. Then he gets the pitcher on an easy ground ball, and you figure he's going to sail through the inning. But he walked Pagan. Turner with the single with the runner on the go, and now Beltran takes the walk to fill him up for Murphy. And Murphy has been exceptionally good with runners in scoring position. He has a double tonight, 1 for 1, and Kane in trouble.
Well, pitching out of the windup there, as Kane stepped back with his left foot, it would have been a balk if the hitter hadn't stepped out of the box and asked for time.
3:54 with men in scoring position. Breaking ball in there for strike 1.
And he's even better with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. He's batting .386. That's 14th best in the National League. 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
Pagan, Turner, and Beltran filling him up, and that's wide. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, Kane has kind of built this inning with the 2 walks and the base hit to get the jam started here, but the shadows have really come in to kind of help rescue him. If he can get the ball and keep it down where it's harder to see, and the ball goes from light to dark.
It's his 31st pitch of the inning. This with a fastball, 2-1.
Well, he's pitching out of the windup. Very seldom in the game of baseball in 2011 do you see a runner on third and a pitcher pitching out of the windup. This guy at second base and first base get extraordinary leads, and if the guy at third base breaks early, he could balk.
Rolled foul to the left of the plate. He just got a piece of it. 2-2.
As I was mentioning, Dave, if he's standing on the rubber with both feet and he steps off with his left foot instead of his right foot, it's a balk. But here the crowd's getting into this. We'll see what happens. They need a strikeout.
The 2-2. The Giant fans have been so cultured, realizing with all these 1-run games they've played, low-scoring games, this could be not the 6th or the 7th or the 8th or 9th inning where the ball game turns. This could be the single most important at bat all night. Shot, caught. Fontenot at the grab. And Kane survives and leaves them loaded. 2 up for the San Francisco Giants. The top of the order, Torres, Fontenot, and Sandoval. Loaded situation to get out of the inning unscathed. Torres stings one down to right field line, and that's going to drop it and bounce against the wall. Torres heading for second. Beltran's throw will be late, and Andres Torres stings a double right out of the chute here in the third inning for San Francisco.
Well, drivable fastballs are Mike Pelfrey's nemesis. He gets the ball in the middle third or the upper third, and he gets raked. That one was up and not really in the middle, but it was up and it was lazy. It was a possible two-seamer that he wanted to sink. It's going to sink more when it's down. Torres does the right thing, not trying to do too much with it. If he really unleashes on that ball, he pulls it foul, but he makes a nice solid swing. It's a line drive, gets himself a double.
And perhaps a ringing slump buster for him. Here's Fontenot, 1 for 1 tonight with a single.
And don't be surprised if Fontenot takes one shot at pulling the ball, and if he gets a foul ball or a called strike, that he bunts for a base hit to get this guy over. This is a necessity to move this runner over to third base.
Again, those shadows have moved across the plate. He pokes it the other way. Tejada will freeze the runner and throw out Fontenot.
That's
so one
not what Bruce Bochy was looking for. He put Fontenot in there to inject a little energy in the team to play the game properly. You get in a situation where you really are a team player and do the team thing. And if you're a power hitter, you're allowed to hit it to the left side because you play your own game. When you're a baseball player expected to make productive outs, you're not supposed to hit it there.
No, not with no strikes, and not. You have to understand that his strength is to hit the ball in left field, but his duty at that time is hit the ball to right field. I didn't think he could do it. That's why I was looking for the bump for the base hit.
Unproductive out for the number 2 hitter. Sandoval knocks that one toward the alley. That one's trying to split the defense, and it's going to be off the wall. Torres rounding. Here he comes into second, slapping his hands. Pablo Sandoval. And he has put the Giants in front 1-0.
You compliment hitters, or you can talk about a bad pitch. Well, hitters hit bad pitches. That's why they're big leaguers. They hit mistakes. First of all, Torres gets the double on an up fastball, a sinker that doesn't sink very much. And now Sandoval even higher, the upper third of the strike zone. And Pelfrey, when he throws it there, gets hurt.
It's a 21-game hitting streak for Sandoval as Scherholz knocks it foul.
That's not an easy feat. To get a ball up out over the plate and hit it hard is what a lot of major league players can do. To hit it off the top of the wall, left center field, 385 feet away is not that easy. That's a talented young man in a hot streak right now.
He rewarded his manager Bruce Bochy there for the All-Star selection.
1 ball, 1 strike on Scherholz.
You know, everyone talks about team play and picking up your teammate when your teammate does not advance the runner and you could drive that runner in from second instead of from third. You get some kudos in that dugout. That's a team play. It's like picking a ball out of the dirt. When a fielder throws it in the dirt, the first baseman picks it out of the dirt. He picked his teammate up. Well, Sandoval just picked his teammate up and picked up a run for his team.
The 2-1 into the dirt. The runner holding at second. 3 balls and 1 strike. We come to you tonight, Sunday Night Baseball, our last Sunday Night Baseball before the All-Star game from San Francisco. The Giants have just taken a 1-0 lead on the New York Mets. Dave O'Brien alongside Orel Hershiser and Bobby Valentine. Dan Schulman with the weekend off. And the 3-1. Toward the middle. That's going to sneak through for a base hit. In to score Sandoval. And the Giants lead it 2-0. Nate Scherholz with his second hit tonight. He's 2 for 2.
And that's a base hit on a breaking ball up the middle, and Scherholz hit it kind of just the way he threw it. Not very hard, but placed very well. There it is, a slider kind of down and in. You throw it down there, I'm going to try to do some damage. I'll get firm. My hands are above the ball, obviously, because the ball is low, and I'll get a line drive into center field.
And Scherholz has had a big week as Miguel Tejada takes a strike. He belted 2 home runs against San Diego on Wednesday, including a game winner in the 14th inning. And has now hit in 6 in a row. Three hits, 2 runs. This is a big inning for the San Francisco Giants.
We've had the Giants 3 times in the last 5 weeks and gotten to watch Sandoval and Scherholz and all these Giant hitters. And we've liked Scherholz's actions. His rhythm was off, and now that we're watching him now, his timing has gotten so much better.
Tejada 0 for 1. Slices that one foul.
The guys in the clubhouse call it PT. You get some playing time, you get your rhythm, and you get your time, and you get your time, and you get your hits. But what comes first?
The chicken or the egg?
Do you play them, or do you get hot and then you play them? That's the dilemma of a manager.
And then by the time they get their PT, the other guy they took the playing time from is healthy again, and they got to rotate it back.
To the third baseman, a friendly bounce from Murphy to Turner 1 on to first. They turn the double play. And the side is retired, but not before the Giants strike for 2. A pair of doubles and a single in support of that man, Matt Cain.
Jesus.
Brought to you by Nissan. Innovation for today, innovation for tomorrow, innovation for all. And by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey. Live freely, drink sensibly. Top half of the 4th inning, and Matt Cain, after a 34-pitch, 2-walk 3rd inning, looking for a quick 4th after getting a 2-run lead.
Well, Matt is very good when he's pitching from ahead in the game. Goes a little deeper into his pitch selection. Doesn't have to give in on the fastballs.
Bay pops it up foul. He's 0 for 1 tonight. Jason Bay saying recently, I just want to be me, and I think I'm getting there. He's talking about recovering from last year's concussion. And it cost him so many games.
And Dave, that me that he's talking about is a feeling. He's been coming to the ballpark for over a year and a half with the New York Mets. couple years trying to get the feeling that he had with Boston and with Pittsburgh. He hasn't had it. He keeps changing, keeps doing things, and finally he has a feel that has allowed him to hit some balls hard over the last 75 at-bats.
And Fontenot throws on to get him. One man out in the fourth inning. Well, this year's Major League Baseball All-Star Game is being held at Chase Field in Phoenix. Tomorrow night, don't miss the State Farm Home Run Derby. Live at 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. Then Tuesday afternoon, the All-Star Red Carpet Show presented by Chevrolet at 4 Eastern on the MLB Network. And then Tuesday night, the game itself on Fox at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. One gone for Lucas Duda, who has fly to center tonight, 0 for 1. He was the Mets minor league player of the year in 2010. He drove in 100 runs over 3 stops, AA, AAA in the Mets. Called strike, and he's in the hole now, 0-2.
And he needs the feel that he had in the minor leagues. It's no different. It's still 60 feet 6 inches here, but he hasn't felt like he can hit the ball with power. And it's because he's starting his hand so soon.
Well, now we've seen those shadows really move out in front of home plate, almost all the way out to the top of the pitcher's mound. Kane from sun into shade. That one driven deep, high and deep, right field. Racing back, Sherholtz leaping up. He can't get it. It's off the wall. Duda taking the big turn. He's heading into third. He's going to reach. He slides in with a triple. So Duda goes to the opposite field, really drills it. Now from light to dark.
See the ball from light to dark out of Matt Cain's hands, and Duda does a nice job staying on this, driving the ball. Didn't firm up the front side completely. Maybe that's why it didn't end up in the splash zone, but boy, Sherholtz with all the different surfaces out there in the right field area to deal with makes a fine effort running through the warning track, climbing the fence, and giving that just a fantastic effort. If you're on the mound, that's what you want to see your defenders try that hard.
Duda pulling that triple, his second triple, and brings up Ronnie Polino. So the Mets with an extra base hit with 1 out in the fourth, trying to get on the scoreboard here against Kane. Polino, right-hand hitter, has become Pelfrey's personal catcher. Lifts that one into right field. Here's Sherholtz creeping in. Duda bluffs the throw to the plate, and the fans love that. And Bobby, you talked about what a terrific athlete this kid is.
It was a great athletic move, climbing the wall and just missing a spectacular catch on the previous play. Now he gets behind this ball and makes a 1-out throw. No one scoring on this ball, folks. This kid's going to be someone to reckon with. His body plays the game of baseball the way you want a body to play it on offense and defense. I don't really like the way he takes a lead at first or second base, but his speed will play when he's on the bases.
That was a great play by Whiteside at home after that throw came in, because it hits the dirt, not the grass. Short hops him a little bit.
And he's dealing with the shadows too, coming in from the outfield.
Did a very nice job not letting that clank off his glove. Matt Cain was back there backing up. But if he didn't catch that ball clean like that, there's a chance that run scores anyway.
Sherholtz already having a big game at the plate, 2 for 2. In there for a called strike. Sharp breaking ball on Ruben Tejada, who whiffed his first time up.
Tejada's a very good fastball hitter, as most young players are. And at 21 years old, he was the guy who was rushed to the big leagues 2 years ago when Reyes was hurt, and now finally playing the way his talent said he would play when he was in the minor leagues.
Third straight inning, Kane has been challenged, and that one almost got him up and over his head. Whiteside had to reach up to spear that one, otherwise it's all the way to the backstop.
Well, that was not a purpose pitch. That was a mistake. Kane wanted to just blow it by him. He overthrew it. The ball came out of his hand early, and you see it just really just almost slips out of his hand.
Almost gets a foul ball on the bat.
Yeah, he almost did.
2-2. You know, what was particularly frightening about that was that ball almost disappeared coming from the sun into the shadow. And if the hitter can't see it to get out of the way.
Oh, it just missed his head. He didn't really get out of the way at all. He knew it was in the vicinity, but it missed his head.
3-2.
Normally a hitter would be on his back or turning completely away. Here comes this ball, though, and he just says, oh, it's up here somewhere. Oh, right?
He moved real late.
Really late.
Due to third, 2 down, and the 3-2. And he walked him. So that'll put runners at first and third. Remember, in the second inning, Murphy led off with a double. He was stranded. In the third inning, they loaded the bases against Kane. They did not score. Now a triple and a walk, and he's in difficulty again.
Yeah, but that was a situation where the scouting report comes into play once again. Mike Pelfrey's one of the worst hitters in the major leagues. There's a 2-run lead. You know you don't want to put the tying run on base, but you also don't want to throw a fastball to a good young fastball hitter. He tried to throw a breaking ball to get him chased. I think he's confident he can get Mike out here in this situation.
Poke foul. Kane has already thrown 82 pitches. Pelfrey did put it in play his first time up. You see the 0.34 batting average. He tapped out to second. Oh, 2.
Yeah, you know, Pelfrey's going to hit this ball in one direction only. That's the right field. Here in left field, we have Roland not understanding where his defense is playing and giving much too much of left center field for Pelfrey to hit. So Aaron Roland is standing out there wondering about his next at-bat rather than moving over with his center fielder. There, he's standing there. Maybe he just wants to be in the shade. Huh? Because you could drive a battleship through that hole in left center, and there's no way he's going to pull the ball down the left field.
I'll tell you what, though, the walk of Tejada has forced him to throw a lot more pitches than he wanted to throw.
Well, he's thrown 85 pitches. You can even see his arm angle's been dropping over the last 20 pitches or so. So this is a lot of pitches for somebody who's here just in the top of the fourth.
2-2. He got him. He struck him out, but it was not without effort. The Mets, by the way, 0 for 6 with men in scoring position on a sparkling night in San Francisco. You should be there. It was an astonishing come from behind victory for the United States, the Women's World Cup soccer team in Germany over favored Brazil. Lots of controversy here. It's 2-0. Giants have the lead over the New York Mets. Aaron Rowan will lead it off here, and unlike Kane's high pitch count, Mike Pelfrey, despite giving up 2 runs, has only thrown 38 pitches to this point. Kane has really struggled. Fly right at center fielder Pagan for the out. Let's bring in Wendy Nix now, talking with the Mets manager Terry Collins. Wendy.
Terry, you told us earlier today that you needed Mike Pelfrey tonight. What have you seen from your starting pitcher so far?
Well, he's made a couple bad pitches. He got a fastball in the middle of the plate early to Torres, but he's going to be fine. He always, he settles down in the middle of the game, and he'll give us some quality innings. We've got a chance to catch up tonight. We got Kane and deep pitch counts early, so we'll see what we can do.
By all accounts, your team has had a solid first half. What are you most encouraged by heading into this All-Star break? Well,
we've got some light at the end of the tunnel. We dealt with, as a lot of teams, with some big injuries early, and it looks like those guys are getting ready to come back, and we fought very, very hard. So I think in the second half should be fun for us.
Terry, thank you. Back to you.
All right, Wendy, thank you very much. Our thanks to Terry Collins as well. Brandon Crawford facing Mike Pelfrey here. Shortstop, 0 for 1. He's flied to left.
Terry's done a great job with this team. Despite the injuries and the turmoil outside the team has played well. Hopefully that light at the end of the tunnel isn't Philadelphia coming at them, who they start up with at the beginning of the second half.
That was one of the reasons that they were cautious about whether they were going to put Reyes on the disabled list for that injury because of that series, such a big series right after the break. Kind of hopeful they could have played him, kept him healthy. That one flared into right center field for a base hit by Crawford. Pagan will scoop it up. He committed an error earlier tonight. A base hit for Brandon Crawford. Eli Whiteside will step in next.
With a swing like that, there's no reason that Crawford will not hit at this level. He watches the ball well, as you were mentioning earlier. He takes pitches that are away. He puts a good stroke on it, and the more confidence he gains, the more pitches he sees, and earlier he learns to start his swing, the more he's going to hit at this level. But this is a very fundamentally sound swing. He gets up, gets down, he gets off the back foot, he sees the ball, he hits the ball, and he can run the bases. I wouldn't be surprised for a hit and run here just so that the pitcher can get through this inning.
Fouled away by Whiteside, who singled his first time up. Crawford was the MVP at UCLA twice in his college career.
Good player with good range in the field, and Orles was nodding when I said a hit and run situation. What you want to do is turn the lineup over here, Dave, if you can, and not have a double play end this inning and have Kane lead off the next inning.
Runner will go. Here's the throw down to second, and not in time. So Crawford picks up the base as that one got away from Polino. Crawford with some smart base running here.
Yeah, he was anticipating the ball in the dirt, which you do when you take your secondary lead. You look, you anticipate, you see, and then you go. Actually, his jump wasn't what he wanted it to be. It looked like Polino caught that ball, so he was going back to first. Then when he saw the ball behind the catcher, he scooted to second.
Wild pitch.
You wouldn't say the jump was very good, but he stayed with the play and picked up the information in time.
Whiteside attempting to drive him in here for his 13th RBI.
This is one of those situations in right field. Beltran's actually playing deeper than the center fielder Pagan, which is odd, if not incorrect.
You'd bring him in?
Absolutely.
Whiteside with only 3 home runs. Unlikely to hit it over the 421 mark or the 365 mark to the opposite field. Giants up 2-0. He checked his swing, and it's outside ball 4, so Whiteside is on. And there are 2 aboard for Kane.
Well, the Mets have had many plays with runners on first and second and a bunt in order where they have a wheel play and a half wheel play where the shortstop plays over by third base and the third baseman charges. But I'd be surprised with this makeshift infield that they have here that they do anything but play this straight and just try to get one out and play it with men on second and third and 2 outs.
Kane to try and drop down a bunt, chops it, foul for strike one.
Yeah, they have Daniel Murphy at third, Tejada at short, they have Turner at second, Dubé at first, and I dare say that this infield never practiced the bump plays together in spring training. This infield alignment.
Pretty good bet.
That's the bet. Yeah.
Remember, Pelfrey struck out with 2 men on. Man about to deliver the pitch at the top of the inning. Now facing the opposing pitcher, and he bunts toward third. Murphy there. Took a look at second, but gets the out at first. And the sacrifice puts 2 men into scoring position.
And a little more of aggressive play by Murphy there. It's a double play, and they're out of the inning. It's a very poor bunt. It's too hard. Murphy is like surprised that it's hit that hard. He's a good hitter, but if he comes up flinging this to second base, they have one there, and then Tejada turns the double play. They're out of the inning.
It's almost like a total lack of confidence in your fielding ability. He don't want to cut that ball loose. He's out there just to make the routine play, not do anything extra special because he's made so many mistakes out there.
And that's exactly the play that the manager wanted. We're going to play it safe. We're going to get one out. We're going to create a second and third situation and get Torres out with 2 outs. And the reason Dan Wortham is out there is to make sure he goes over this scouting report. Let Mike Pelfrey understand with 2 outs, this is the out of the game.
Hey, join us on ESPN tomorrow night for the 2011 State Farm Home Run Derby. Some of the top sluggers in baseball going for the fences. Chris Berman, John Kruk, and Omar Garcia-Parra have the call. The 2011 State Farm Home Run Derby from Chase Field in Phoenix at 8 Eastern on ESPN. Here's Andres Torres. And he can double the lead for the Giants with one swing of the bat. He doubled and scored in the 3rd inning.
Earl, this is one of those interesting situations when you have young Crawford at third base, knowing that Pelfrey has a tendency to balk. So he's out there breaking early, moving around, trying to cause some uneasiness. With the pitcher on the mound, Pelfrey, as we mentioned earlier, balked 3 times in one game.
Here in San Francisco.
Right here in San Francisco. Crawford wasn't with the team at the time, but he's read the scouting report.
9 of them in 2009. Two out, 2 on. And a foul by Torres.
The balks that Pelfrey has committed are really kind of like having the yips in golf when you're over a short putt. If he gets to a point where there's just so much going on and he's taking in the information about what pitch to throw, where I want to throw it, now check the runner, and if the runner does something out of the ordinary, a flinch comes up and he just loses the circuitry.
You break right now before he goes into the set position and see if he knows how to step off.
I played with Bobby Welch, and Bobby could come set, but if it took a while, he'd go into brain lock, and he needed Mike Scioscia, the catcher at the time, or Steve Yeager, or the hitter to call time, because once he came set and he couldn't pull the trigger on the pitch, it's like somebody saved me, and you could see when somebody finally called time, he'd just take a deep breath and go, thank you.
The 2-2. Now a full count on Torres, who last year, at the age of 32, playing every day for the first time in his big league career, was a big part of their World Series run.
Yes, and Oral, you know, the other thing that pitching coach Dan Wortham went out there to tell him that there were 2 hitters to get 1 out. Hey, don't give in this situation.
A base hit means 2 runs. Still 3-2.
Want to tell the fans what that's all about, Earl?
I'll tell you what, it's 2 hitters to get 1 out because first base is open, and the other thing you just found out because of the last swing, how that aggressive that swing was. with 2 outs and second and third and a 3-2 count, the hitter is in swing mode. You do not have to throw a strike here. Throw something that looks like a strike, ends up a ball, and you'll probably get an out.
And block it if it's in the dirt.
He's swinging. Look at the way he's just up there wiggling in the box. He wants to hit.
Breaking ball, and he missed with it. And that's going to load up the bases for San Francisco.
But it was a pitch that started as a ball and ended up a ball. The key is to start the ball to look like a strike when you get a guy in swing mode. Don't start a ball that you're trying to make him look bad. Make him look bad by starting it as a strike. The only ball that he's going to disengage on right there after wanting to swing the bat so bad is a ball that looks too high out of his hand. And look at 3/4 of the way through that delivery and all the way to the plate. That ball looks like a ball right out of his hand.
So no place to put Mike Fontenot, who's already singled and grounded out to short. High pop up into center. And Pagan says he has it. And the Giants are going to strand 3. They've already left 7 men tonight. Pagan, the leadoff man, will be followed by Turner and Beltran for the Mets when we come back to San Francisco. Presented by Taco Bell and from gorgeous AT&T Park right on the bay in San Francisco. Just a palace. 2-0. The Giants have the lead as we take it to the top half of the 5th inning. Dave O'Brien in for Dan Schulman this week on Sunday Night Baseball. That one ripped into right field, but Scherholz comes in on a sinking line drive. That had some action on it off the bat of Pagan for the first out.
And that's curious, Oral, where Terry Collins was mentioning how high a pitch count Matt Cain has. Pelfrey was just out on the mound for a long time. Leadoff hitter goes up there, down 2 runs, and what's he do? Swings at the first pitch and helps him get back into a pitch count situation by 1 pitch, 1 out.
He needs a quick inning in the worst way. Here's Justin Turner. He's singled and grounded out to short. Turner, right-hand hitter out of Long Beach, California, and Cal State Fullerton. 1 ball and 1 strike. Very solid pickup last winter after Baltimore put him on waivers. He's also been one of the best in the National League with men in scoring position, although the base is empty now here in the 5th inning. He's done a lot of things very well. just a rookie.
He's a very good hitter, though. He understands what he can do, what he should do at the plate. Hits the breaking ball, pulls it, hits the fastball to right field.
The other way and out of the reach of Sandoval down the line. Scherholz to get to it in the corner. Turner heading into second base, and he's there with a stand-up double. Let's get it to Buster Olney now. Talked to Bruce Bochy earlier.
Bruce Bochy, Matt Cain, 86 pitches, no runs allowed. What are you seeing in him?
Well, his fastball commands off a little bit. That's why he's working so hard out there, and his pitch count's gotten up there. But stuff is good, and it's just a matter now of throwing a few more strikes. They're working him hard, I'll say that. He's had a couple jams he's had to work out of.
This morning you got to tell Pablo Sandoval that he's going to be on the All-Star team. What was that like?
That's a special moment for me, along with special for Pablo. He was really excited. I called him this morning to see if he could play first base. Then I asked him if he could go to Arizona. He didn't know what I was talking about. Then told me he made the All-Star team. He was excited. And, he's such a great player, as you're getting a chance to see today.
Bruce, thanks. Dave, back to you.
Buster, thank you very much. Pablo with an RBI double back in the third inning. Getting over 300 and a 21-game hitting streak for the All-Star. Beltran batting with one down and a man at second.
And Bruce really likes Pablo as a player, and he really liked him last year. Yet he was 40 pounds overweight when this team marched into the playoffs in the World Series, and he was on the bench watching.
In for a strike, 2-1.
You think about the work ethic that he had to lose the 40 pounds, and he really lost more than 40 pounds of fat, because when you put on the muscle and tighten up his body the way he did, he probably had to lose about 50 pounds of fat and added probably 10 pounds of muscle that came on because he got stronger.
Hit .330 in 2009, but just .268 last year, battling the weight issues.
He's found the light now. You see the sun reflecting off his hat. I think his sun must be getting in the eyes of his hat where he's got his sunglasses, but he really has found a work ethic to keep it off, and he loves the way he feels.
Foul tipped into the mid, hung on by Whiteside. So down goes Beltran. He fans, and the Mets 0 for 7 with men in scoring position tonight. 2 away.
So someone has to explain to me why a player goes out in the field. I understand why Bruce Bochy has his glasses up on his hat, because the sun's no longer part of his day. But here's Pablo. Not only does he have his glasses on his hat, but they're on upside down.
Here's Daniel Murphy, doubled and lined out. That's how we all are around our houses when we're about to get in the car and we're looking for our keys. It's like, where did I put my keys?
Where are my keys?
My glasses are on my head.
He's probably wondering where his glasses are right now. You're right, Dave.
Murphy trying to pick up this run and get the Mets finally on the scoreboard. They've had several chances already against Cain.
Probably seeing Cain's last inning of work here is my bet. He's had a very long first half of this season. He's thrown a lot of pitches, a lot of innings, been a workhorse. Bruce is going to give everyone a little extra rest with the All-Star break.
Pitch number 99, sliced foul.
And it's not just the quantity of pitches, 100 pitches in 5 innings. People say, well, 100's not that big a number. Well, it is a number when you're working hard from the first pitch of the game. He should have about 75 after 5. He's now 25 over at least after 5. I think it's a day of work and a good one if he gets this out.
He's only had one easy inning. Little chopper, and there's Sandoval to make a nice play along the line, and he gets out of it again. The Mets 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. So Turner's double goes to waste. Cain continues to toss a shutout here. All-Star Game is being held at Chase Field in Phoenix. Tomorrow night, don't miss the State Farm Home Run Derby live at 8 Eastern on ESPN among all the events. The MLB All-Star Red Carpet Show presented by Chevrolet on Tuesday, and then the game, the 82nd Major League Baseball All-Star Game on Fox on Tuesday. Pablo Sandoval has doubled. He's also flied out tonight, but he's run his hitting streak to 21 in a row. All time for the Giants, Jack Clark has the longest hitting streak with 26 in a row back in 1978. Swing and a miss, and Sandoval goes down hacking. One man away in the Giant fifth inning. Now, Buster Posey got a huge ovation here moments ago. It's Buster Posey bobblehead doll night here at AT&T Park. But even if it wasn't, he would have gotten that ovation when they showed him up on the big board.
They love him here for his attitude and what he did for this team last year, and that he put his face in there and tried to keep a run from scoring at the plate. I have my bobblehead.
You waited in line for yours, which is even more astounding.
Thank you very much.
You're a regular guy, Bob.
Well, it wasn't a long line.
But here it is. I mean, here's the Buster Posey. It's all yours, brother.
Going to see if he could sign it. It'd be a really nice collectible.
Oh, that'd be terrific.
Having one of my auctions coming up.
No way.
Yes, indeed.
You raised a lot of money for relief in Japan.
We raised about $800,000. In
the last auction.
In the last auction last month here in Stamford, Connecticut. It was a wonderful thing. Terry Collins and the Giants all contributed, and I was happy that the community of Fairfield County and Westchester County, Connecticut, and New York contributed the way they did.
Wonderful for you as well. And our own Buster caught up with Buster Posey. And what's on his mind right now, Buster?
Well, he says he's focused on coming back. He said he feels like that's one of his strengths. He's absolutely devoted to the idea of coming back as a catcher.
Shearholtz knocks that one into left field. He's having quite a night. That's his third hit. He's 3 for 3.
And what his big question is going forward as a catcher, will he be able to put what he feels in his ankle out of his mind? He said he has those explosive movements when he's blocking a ball in the dirt, when he's moving around behind the plate. He's hoping he can get to the point where he's not thinking about the pain he felt in his ankle right after that injury.
The question I have is also one of his mental state of mind when he's back in catching and there's a play at the plate. The first time someone throws a one-hopper from right field and a runner is coming at him full strength down the third base line, what goes through his mind?
Well, I think he'll practice what he's going to do. It's not going to be the first time that will happen, maybe first time in a game. It'll practice, and I don't think he'll practice getting out of the way, making the tag and shifting his weight to get out of the way. If he happens to have a collision, hopefully he'll have those legs tucked underneath him a little better.
Tejada swings and misses. A man at first, 1 out, 2-0 Giants.
You'll probably see him, maybe he'll go to a different style glove, one that's a little bit more looser, that more like a first baseman's glove, that's padded enough to catch all these hard throwers like Lindsey Kane and Brian Wilson at the end. But a sweep tag was something he's definitely going to be practicing.
And remember, he's a great athlete, shortstop in college. He can play anywhere on the field.
Runner goes, stroked into left field, backing up Bay. He's there to make the catch right on the edge of the warning track, and Shearholtz is back into first for the second out. So 2 gone here. We go back to that fateful play at home plate on which his leg was broken May 25th.
Now Shearholtz makes another good throw, too good of a throw actually. He doesn't have the ball. His leg gets turned underneath his body, or his left ankle. You see it turn, does not get out, and gets broken. And I'd be concerned about that left ankle. Ankles are very difficult and very important hitting, running, and fielding.
Surgery there, put a couple of screws in as well. Huge loss for the Giants. 2010 Rookie of the Year, hitting over 300 with power. Did it in the World Series. Was swinging a good bat at the time of the injury. Rowland is 0 for 2 with a ground to third, a fly to center. Shearholtz aboard at first.
And I like everything about his game except for the way he takes a lead at first base. He looks very unathletic. His feet are too close together. He's not balanced. He's not ready to go in each direction. He needs to spread his legs out a little more, square up to the outside corner of first base so that he's in that athletic position as though he was a defensive back, ready to go both ways. He collapses his knees there before he dives because he's out of balance. But he'll learn that. He's a fabulous athlete.
Pelfrey's 2-0. Right through there for a strike. Pelfrey had a really solid year in 2010. He went 15-9 with a 366 earned run average. Pitched 200 innings. Set a career high in victories.
He has tremendous tools. He just has a little bit of a confidence problem, sometimes a execution problem, a consistency. I think a lot of his delivery there, especially the lower half, it's a timing issue where he just doesn't have a solid foundation. He doesn't really find that rhythm every single day. And if he rely a little bit more on creating the foundation with his lower half so he can repeat his delivery, I think he'd be much more effective.
3-2.
His back leg, for me, just does not do the same thing every pitch. And you stand on one leg for a living as a pitcher. You stand on your back leg first and then your front leg when you land. And those two tell a lot of tales of how good your effectiveness is.
Runner takes off. Chopper to third, backing up Murphy, and he bobbles it. He throws anyway, but too late. First and second, the inning stays alive because of the miscue by Murphy.
Yeah, but he can hit.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, it relates back to the play on the bunt that Matt Cain made to him. A nice hard bunt that could have turned into a double play. We saw him kind of default to just throw the runner out at first. And there's the kind of inconsistency that he knows is in the back of his game. And it creeps into his mind. It's when he clanks off the heel of the glove right there. And just he sees it into his glove. He just didn't have the glove in the proper position. He catch it in the web. And Bobby, you were more middle infielder. You'd be better at dissecting that play.
Like I said, he can hit. Love the guy. Love his energy. Love what he brings to the game. He's playing very well at third base. Quick reactions are good. When he has a long time to think about it, he gets a little stiff, as he was in that situation.
It's his 8th error of the season. Did he go? He did not. A check swing by Brandon Crawford.
And this is one of those team plays for Mike Pelfrey. He has to pick up his teammate here. Could have been walking off the field and into the dugout. Instead, there's an error. The inning continues. Now make some big pitches and pick him up.
8th error overall. His 4th at third base. 1-1 breaking ball is fought off foul by Crawford.
And playing off of that swing and watching this young man play, you would think the outfield would swing around to left field a bit. They really haven't moved. They're playing him slightly to pull.
The Mets have committed 2 errors. Pelfrey trying to get that final out with 2 on and fought off again. One oddity about Pelfrey is that his home runs are up. He's already allowed 15 home runs on the year after giving up just 12 all of last season.
Ball's been elevated most of this year, and his off-speed pitches have been inconsistent. That's led to those home runs. Last year, the two-seamer was a lot better and down. This year, the ball's been up.
5-7 with an ERA of 4.64 coming in. Got a piece of it again.
He's still not moving over an outfield, but you got his back leg right here, Earl.
The thing with Mike Pelfrey's back leg that I really don't like is the fact that kneecap starts to point back towards second base. So that locks up his back hip, and his lower half then ends up being late. And he can't really drive to home plate until that kneecap or knee comes around towards home plate again. And it's almost like a third eyeball, that back leg right where that kneecap is. And when it starts wandering around.
Into left field, and Bay is there to make the catch. 2 men will be stranded. Pelfrey does good work pitching around the error by his third baseman Murphy. Still 2-0 San Francisco.
They did.
Willie McCovey swinging away. Giants on top 2-0 as we move along to the 6th inning here on Sunday Night Baseball. Bobby Valentine, Oral Hershiser, Dave O'Brien with you. And there he is, the genuine article himself, Willie McCovey. Tremendous statue there to celebrate number 44's career. Jason Bay going after the first pitch here in the 6th inning and pops a foul out of play for strike one.
A lot of people say, hey, what would you do, bring back from Japan that I learned in Japan? In Japan, the ushers blow whistles in the section that the foul balls are coming in. That ball almost plugged someone in the head because they didn't even realize it was coming into their section. They all have whistles there the entire game. When the ball comes, they blow it. You know it, you duck your head. Or look up and get it right.
Does a whole bunch of people in Japan in those certain sections hit each other's heads and they'll start ducking together?
Duck!
Bay 0 for 2, and he takes one outside. Well, we can have fun with that, but of course, countless fathers and sons, and mothers and daughters took in games around the major leagues over the last week. It's a precious and time-honored tradition of the game. We want to pause and remember the firefighter, the 39-year-old firefighter who fell to his death in Texas at a ball game with his young son. Shannon Stone is 39 years old in Arlington this past week, as he reached for a foul ball tossed him by Josh Hamilton. Stone was at the game with his 6-year-old son Cooper, a huge Josh Hamilton fan. Josh said, hearing the little boy screaming for his daddy and then being home with my kids really hit home. That was Friday. And I know that the Texas Rangers have offered their condolences. We certainly do too, and our deepest sympathies to the entire family. Nolan Ryan said it's one of the saddest things I've ever seen at a ballpark. But our hearts certainly breaking for the Stone family and that awful tragedy. Ground ball right there to Tejada, and gets it. Bay retired. Both bullpens are active here.
Kane is going to be given one more inning by Bruce Bochy. And what we're thinking about here is who will come in to get Tejada out if, in fact, a couple guys get on base. Tejada being the 8th hitter, and then Willie Harris will probably be the pinch hitter. So we will get Javier Lopez up in that giant bullpen if someone gets on base.
Santiago Casilla now throwing in that bullpen down the left field line. Lucas Duda, the batter. He has tripled. He's also flied out to center. So Dave Righetti and Bruce Bochy starting to think about who they're going to mix and match with here, as the pitch count got up kind of in a hurry on Matt Cain, even though he had a 1-2-3 inning, but he had problems in every other inning heading into this 6th, including leaving the bases loaded in the 3rd inning. Mets just haven't come up with a big hit. For a strike.
And as Bruce told us before the game, he's going to give all of his starters a little extra rest. So Matt Cain will come out probably pitching number 4 or 5 out of the break. He'll get 6 or 7 days off between his next start.
Number 105 there, caught by the leaping Sandoval.
And he's given up 2 hard hit balls this inning, but right at him both times. So he has his 2 outs that he needed.
That's the look in from right field. Is there a prettier ballpark in the majors?
I love this place. God dang, I love it.
I'm not sure there is. I think this could be it. There's a lot of pretty ballparks in the ballpark. You know, people ask you all the time as you travel around the country, favorite ballpark. We've got to come here 3 times in the last 5 weeks. And I'll tell you what, this might be number 1.
But you know, with the way Pittsburgh's been playing this first half, we might be able to get there before the year's over, and that's a beautiful place also.
So. And what a great story. I just wish San Francisco were a better restaurant town.
Oh yeah.
I wish you could get a decent meal here.
If it was closer to Napa.
Yeah, if it was a little closer to Napa. It's gorgeous. Just outside here on Polino.
Interesting the way Cain drops down a little on those sliders. Hitters don't pick that up a little easier.
Poked over Sandoval and down the line into the corner again is Schierholtz. Trying to scoop that one up. Polino heading into second. He will. He's there with a double. Coming with 2 down. So is it time to make that call to the bullpen?
Well, once again, I think he'll probably try to get through this inning, being it's the 8th hitter. He has Lopez up now for Willie Harris, who will be the pinch hitter. So we'll be able to get that done. No, Art Bruce is going to go out and get it done right now.
So we'll see if he makes the change here. 2 down, a man at second. Bruce Bochy in yet another close game. He's going to stick with him right now.
Well, the first clue that he was going to stick with him is that Bruce was jogging to the mound. And that told me that the decision hadn't been made. And the second thing was the initial reaction of Matt Cain's head, which was up and down. So you know the question was, how you feeling? And he's like, I'm feeling good. You got a pat on the back from Whiteside, like, this is my man. He's all right.
But that was 3 hard hit balls.
Oh,
and
yeah.
if this hitter had the capability of hitting a ball out of the ballpark, the move would be made to the bullpen. Knowing that he's not going to hit it out to tie this game, he's given him a chance to complete 6.
Tejada is 0 for 1 with a walk, and he waves right through that one. The Mets have had a runner in scoring position each of the last 5 innings, but nothing across the plate yet. And 4 of the 5 hits for extra bases.
Well, the pitch count is elevated because of Matt Cain's 2 2-out walks. That's the key why it's at 116.
Molino at second and fouled away. 0-2. ...117 pitches. That's a season high for Matt Cain. That'll be the last pitch he throws tonight. He made it count to fan Ruben Tejada. Presented by Taco Bell. And tonight from AT&T Park here in San Francisco, it's the Giants with a 2-0 lead on the New York Mets, the first in the West. San Francisco Giants. And their winning formula has not changed since they won it all last year. A called strike on Eli Whiteside. Pat Burrell has come to the on-deck area, so he'll hit for Cain. And then it'll be Andres Torres, the leadoff man. Whiteside, a single and a walk in this one. Giants getting both of their runs in the third off of Mike Pelfrey. on 2 doubles and a single. They've left 8 men on base, so they've had chances to add on. Of course, the Giants have suffered big offensive injuries. Buster Posey and Freddie Sanchez. But they're in first place at the All-Star break for the first time since 2003, regardless of what happens here tonight. 1-2. They were in 4th place, Oral, at the All-Star break last year.
And they really came on. The Padres were out in front. They pitched some of the best baseball in September and October that we've ever seen in all of baseball. The starters mowed down. Matt Cain was a big part of that. His 2010 playoff run, 21 1/3 innings. No earned runs, only 1 run. That was against Atlanta in his first start in the playoffs. Brought that flag out there.
Their staff in September posted a ridiculous 178 earned run average.
And who will forget the heroics of Cody Ross, who's not in the lineup tonight, needs a couple more days to get healthy and ready. He can pinch hit if necessary. But boy, what an addition he was, along with Buster Posey for the second half of the season last year.
In there, got him looking for strike 3. Whiteside disagrees, but he'll take a seat. Cain did have a batting helmet on. Obviously, he's taking those gloves off, so it looked like if Whiteside had gotten on, maybe a bunt, but Burrell will hit for him here. See what he's done against the Mets. 42 home runs against the New York Mets, but only 1 in his last 89 at bats against them.
Yeah, a lot of them when I was managing, regretfully. Playing for the Phillies.
Glad you've gotten over it, Bobby. That's a strike. Strike 3, and that was quick. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. And Pelfrey sits down the first 2. So Burrell fans.
Mike Pelfrey, you know, he's given up the 2 runs he's down, but this could end up winning one of those innings because he goes up against Matt Cain that just pitched, you know, enough mistakes to lose a game to a very good pitcher. But he's pitched well enough to win if the Mets could have drove some runs in with a couple outs and in scoring position. The 8 hits, but he's spread them around. He's picked up his teammates when they've made some errors behind him. Recorded some routine outs.
Mets aren't helping them. They're 0 for 9 with men in scoring position.
Yeah, very easily could be pitching with a lead right now. They're giving up leadoff double, and Fontenot not being able to advance the runner. He got a little lackadaisical with Pablo, I think, Sandoval, and gave up that double, which really turned this game to the side of the San Francisco Giants.
Torres with a strikeout, a double, and a walk tonight. He scored one of their 2 runs in the 3rd. Had a good run in the NLCS last fall, hitting .350, then .318 in the World Series against Texas. But down he goes. What an inning from Pelfrey. His best of the night. 3 consecutive strikeouts. Still 2-0 San Francisco at the end of 6. Ball is presented by Taco Bell and brought to you by the makers of new Extra Strength Bayer Advanced Aspirin, the official pain reliever of Major League Baseball. Extra Strength pain relief twice as fast as before. And by Sears Blue Lawn and Garden Crew. Compare all the ways Sears beats Home Depot and Lowe's for the right to be on your lawn. Some late afternoon, early evening sailing here in San Francisco. What a place to do it. Here on the Bay with the Giants lead 2-0 over the New York Mets, top of the 7th, and a new pitcher coming on. Jeremy Affeldt, who from May 31 on, Worrell, has posted an ERA of 0.92.
It's 19 games. It's the second lowest in the National League. Pitchers that have had 15 innings or more. So he has been on a roll. This whole Giant bullpen has been outstanding. But you look at his ERA at 3.35. Most of those runs were before that May 31st date.
Scott Hairston, a pinch hitter, who's been a bit of a Giant assassin. Batting for Pelfrey.
Yeah, and leading off this inning, he can't knock him out with a home run, but he could start off something with a bunt base hit. Tejada playing in left field at this time.
Comebacker instead, so he'll be a quick out. Kane went the first 6, did not give up a run, 5 hits. He was in and out of trouble pretty much all the while he was on the mound. He did throw 118 pitches, a season high.
Yeah, when Buster Olney interviewed Bruce Bochy, he said the reason he was having such trouble is because of the fastball command, but that's the thing that ended up getting Matt Cain out of the jams near the end of the game. So he found it and he continued to work at it, but the slider kept him out of trouble when he set up some of those innings, but the fastball command, especially inside, was a thing that finished off the hitters late in the game for him.
Here's Pagan. He is 0 for 2 with a walk tonight, hitting .251. One of Angel's hobbies is spearfishing for barracuda when he's home in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I do that on my off days up in the rivers of Stamford, Connecticut. No, don't look at me like that.
A lot of barracuda in the rivers around Stamford, Connecticut. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Spearfishing, no doubt.
Dave, I know you normally don't sit in that chair, and Dan Schulman is there, so you just can't take the bait.
Oh, good weave.
A lot of teeth, those barracuda. You ever see a barracuda?
I'm not sure you've ever seen one.
No, I have.
Have you really?
Oh, I have, yeah. Matter of fact, in the Dominican Republic, we always used to, Time of the Sorted, and Billy Buckner and all the guys that played winter ball would go out deep sea fishing because we were going to catch the
big one.
The big one. We got a lot of barracuda. That's all we got. Not with spears, though, with it.
Yeah, the steel leader because they'd cut through a normal line. So
absolutely.
With those teeth.
I'm sorry I mentioned it. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Pagan hit a home run here on Friday. And asked for time. Matt Cain can pick up the win, and heading into the All-Star break can be 8-5. He was selected by his manager to be one of the All-Star pitchers, but because he pitches on the Sunday before the break, that makes him, by the rules, ineligible. That means over the last couple of days, Bruce Bochy has probably been busier with All-Star picks and trying to fill a team than he has managing his own ball club. 15 or 16 have bowed out in just a matter of a couple of days on those All-Star rosters. Not just the National League, of course, but boy, that's a high number. The All-Star pitchers who started today, therefore will not be eligible. CC Sabathia was named today, then replaced.
I don't get it.
I don't get that at all. He replaced James Shields of Tampa Bay and then was replaced himself because he's 13-4. Might be the best pitcher in baseball right now.
But if you pitch on Sunday, you can't pitch in the game. So he got named for the game after he pitched on Sunday. And they got replaced. Yeah, I don't get it. What am I missing here? You can't pitch in the game if you pitch on Sunday. So after he pitched on Sunday,
he should have been named originally.
Oh.
And if the game would have got rained out, he could have been pitched. But
shattered bat. Tejada will gun on to get him by about half a step at first base. The guy can really get up that line. Bat coming apart in pieces. We take a look at our pro tips now, brought to you by Cabot Wood Stains.
Location of the fastball in as they got Matt Cain out of the 6th inning here. He gets the ball in on Jason Bay. And gets the ball in right there. Strikeout at the end, and in between that, he got a fastball in with Duda.
2 down in the Mets 7th. And a hitter will be Justin Turner, who has singled and doubled tonight. On the inside corner for a called strike. Carlos Beltran, the on-deck hitter. Turner not too pleased with that call from Bill Miller. I would have to say there is excitement here in San Francisco about the possibility, however slim it might be, of Beltran becoming a San Francisco Giant around the trade deadline. As we mentioned earlier, he's actually going to be on the flight to the All-Star game with the Giants personnel. He's going to be on their team plane heading to Phoenix later tonight. Bruce Bochy will be on that plane.
He's a fit talent-wise, that's for sure, but he might not be a fit salary-wise.
He's owed $9 million in the second half.
This is a franchise that sells out every game this year. It's hungry for a repeat.
To the right side hole, through for a base hit, a dive and a miss for Fontenot, and another hit for Turner. He's 3 for 4.
He's a good hitter. They're going to have to study him a little more in the second half. They keep throwing him fastballs that he handles very well, and he hits them to right field. A lot of times you'll see a chart. Guy hits the ball the other way. We try to throw it in. That's just where he wants it. A la Derek Jeter, who's done it over 2,000 times with base hits to right field. You got to throw him 2,000 on the singles and the base hits to right. And you got to throw him slow and away.
Beltran with 13 home runs as a man on, 0 for 2 tonight. Along with the offense, a 3-time Gold Glover, switch hitter. 0-2.
This is a guy who's been an all-star 6 years of his life, 5 years with the Mets.
Check out the MLB Fan Cave at MLBFancave.com. Many of baseball's biggest stars have stopped by the cave already this season. One ball and 2 strikes. Beltran has been a doubles machine, and it's a good doubles ballpark. He leads the National League. He takes that one. It just misses. Apfel really wanted that one up a little bit, said Bill Miller.
You might want it, but you don't want to throw it there. The ball is high, and it's not where he wanted that pitch.
Waved in and missed. Down he goes. FL gets him by going low. And another Met left on base. Still 2-0 San Francisco on a Sunday night. to the walk-off home run of the All-Star game with 2 outs in the ninth. How about 1971? Reggie Jackson. All the Hall of Famers in that game as he went to the roof. Roberto Clemente among those. Wait till we show you Clemente on a swing. And in 2001, the 10th anniversary, Cal Ripken with a home run in his final game in the 72nd All-Star game at Safeco Field in Seattle. Here in San Francisco, the sun still a long way from setting. The Giants with a 2-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Jonathan Neese, the left-hander, making his first career relief appearance for the Mets.
18 starts you see up there. 3.73 ERA. Just trying to get him an inning of work, not only to keep this game close, but also with the All-Star break coming up, keep him in his rhythm.
Mike Fontenot here. Foul tips it to the mid. He's 1 for 3. So Pelfrey went the first 6. He gave up 8 hits, 2 runs. He's on the hook right now. Unless the Mets can get some runs on the board. They've had chances tonight. Duda bobbles it and will have no play, and that's the 3rd Met error tonight. 2 of them on the infield.
These are guys who aren't used to playing out there. Duda went too far to his right to try to field that ball. But we mentioned Roberto Clemente. And we mentioned about weight transfer and striding, and you see he gets on his front leg here, gets really firm, and gets all the way off his back foot. Matter of fact, that's about 8 inches off the ground when he hits that ball. 480 feet to right center field.
Well, that's unbelievable to see that. And he was all legs.
Looked like he had a lot of legs, didn't he? Yeah. Watching him run. Julio Franco had a very similar swing to Roberto, as did Ruben Sierra from the right side.
Fontenot on at first base. They're not going to rule that a base hit. So he's aboard in the 7th inning. Sandoval, their hottest hitter for San Francisco, 1 for 3 with a double tonight. He drove in a run in the 3rd. So a 21-game hitting streak. He pops that one up. Duda ranging and has room and will make the grab. So 1 man out. So we recapped that 1971 All-Star game. And look at this. It was 6-4 American League. 20 future Hall of Famers were in the game. 2 future Hall of Fame managers and an umpire. All 6 home runs and 10 RBIs were hit and driven in by Hall of Famers. And Frank Robinson was the MVP.
And that was my first year in the major leagues, and every one of those players were guys you would come out and watch take infield practice and batting practice, because they loved to play the game. And you know what, Oro? No one refused to go to the game when they were selected.
And they played the whole game.
Yeah, a lot of them did.
Looping line drive at a base hit into left center. That's off into the alley. Pagan trying to cut it down. He does. Fontenot is into 3rd and romping to 2nd with a double. Nate Scherholz, he is 4 for 4. 3 singles and now the 2-bagger.
Well, Terry Collins mentioned how some of his young players needed a rest and they were tired going into the All-Star break. Well, Bruce Bochy's young players, both Scherholz and Crawford, do not need a rest. They're swinging the bat very well, playing very well. They'll take those 3 days.
So Terry Collins will make a pitching change, and we'll be back with more in just a moment. Carrasco coming on 2-0 San Francisco in the 7th inning. From San Francisco on a gorgeous night here on the Bay. It's the last game before the All-Star break. And the Giants have sprung to life again offensively. Second and third, one man out. Terry Collins goes to the bullpen. The right-hander DJ Carrasco, who's given up 6 runs in his last 9 innings.
Yeah, that ERA is from his own doing, but when he comes in with somebody else, he shuts him down. 13 for 13.
A looper. Here comes Pagan, and it's going to fall in for a base hit. Fontenot will score. Sherhold's down to third as the throw comes home, and another one on the board for the Giants. They lead it 3-0. So Miguel Tejada, first ball swinging, drops in a single. That drives in Fontenot, who had singled to start the inning, and 3 hits in the frame for the Giants.
Miguel Tejada, when he's swinging a hot bat, and he thought he was, even though he lined out hard to left field his last at bat, when he makes solid contact, he goes to the plate ready to swing right there. Not a solid contact, but found the hole.
That sends up Aaron Rowan to a look at a strike. 0 for 3 tonight. Rowan 2 for 4 in the Giants win last night. Although he was skidding heading into that. There's a base hit to left. Sherhold scores. 4-0 San Francisco. 3 consecutive Giant hits here in the 7th. It's a big inning by Giant standards offensively.
They keep it going. They might, for the first time this year, score more than 6 runs at this ballpark. Whoa. They have to keep it going.
Well, here's Brandon Crawford, 1 for 3 with a single. Only 1 out, 2 on. First pitch swinging, drives it to left, right at Bay. He doesn't even have to move for the catch, and they're 2 down. You may remember Carrasco was the guy who balked home the winning run in a game against Atlanta back in the middle of June. We'll talk more about balks tonight, especially with Met pitchers, and then probably any 5 games all year. Because Pelfrey in 2009, a starter for the Mets, balked 9 times, 3 times in 1 game. Not tonight, though. Here's Eli Whiteside, and it almost hit him. Breaking ball in around the elbow. Two runs home to make it 4-0 Giants on the strength of 4 hits. Tejada and Rowan get their leads. 1-1 the count. Once again, San Francisco pitching has been a major part of it. One and 2. Dylan G and Manny Acosta throwing in the pen down the right field line for New York. 1-2, popped him up but foul out of play. Well, another huge crowd here in San Francisco. We've had 45 straight sellouts here. 2-2. Well, a day and an evening like tonight, why wouldn't you be at the ballpark in San Francisco?
Well, it's an amazing crowd, and they stay into the end. They love their Giants. They wear their Giant gear. And they have a lot of plans for being here in October.
Well, they're in first place. They are the defending world champs. Most of those same pieces are back. Little floater back out of play by Whiteside.
Bobby, you mentioned all the sellouts they're having here now, and that support from their fan base could possibly afford them a bigger bat than if they weren't supporting the team. They might step out, and maybe they will eat a little bit of a contract of somebody coming in.
Trying to make up for the lack of Buster Posey. Of course, swinging a miss. Whiteside, a man trying to fill that gap, strikes out. And that will retire the side. However, the Giants double up on their lead, and they now lead it 4-0 over the New York Mets. With an embarrassment of riches, the way they score runs, a 4-0 advantage going to the 8th. Join ESPN tomorrow night for the 2011 State Farm Home Run Derby. Some of the top sluggers in the game going for the fences. It's the 2011 State Farm Home Run Derby, live from Chase Field in Phoenix tomorrow night at 8 Eastern on ESPN. Affeldt staying on to pitch on into the 8th inning. Daniel Murphy, Jason Bay, Lucas Duda. So of those two squads now, the American and National League Home Run Derby teams, Bobby Valentine, who are you picking?
I'm picking the National League.
Really?
Yes.
Even with the left-handers in the American League?
Yes.
Short right field porch in Arizona?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that National League, I think that they're going to be letting it all hang out, even though I think that Jose Bautista will have the most home runs of anyone in the contest because he's the best home run hitter.
He is. That American League squad is fearsome, but Matt Holliday has muscles on his chin. I mean, he's ridiculously strong.
And Matt Kemp, this is a year for him to break out. He's not breaking out with his team because his team's holding him down, but I think he'll be there to show.
Oral, who are you picking?
I'm going to take the American League with the left-handers. Just, my original rebuttal. I think Robbie Cano, a nice smooth swing. I think he'll understand the pressure out there.
Big Poppy won it last year.
Poppy, pretty
big, very good.
And the experience of being out there in front of the fans for batting practice without the cage around you is important. You'll hear the hitters talk about how nervous they get.
Crawford to hustle the throw and does to get Murphy. One man out in the 8th inning for the Mets. Now the National League squad includes Prince Fielder, of course, and all that power. Holliday, who can hit any ball out. Ricky Weeks joining his teammate Prince Fielder, and you mentioned Matt Kemp.
Ricky Weeks got hit in the head today. Fortunately, he was okay, right on the helmet.
You know what I'm looking forward to is seeing Boomer and John Kruk together for over 3 hours talking about home runs. I am really looking forward to that.
And you think if the roof's open and it's 110 degrees, or the roof's closed and it's
I don't want the roof to be open, but I think that would be a real added attraction to be on the field and seeing them sweat for 3.5 hours
and
together.
Home run derby would take 7.5 hours to play if that were the case with all those home runs being hit.
It should be fun anyway. There are going to be many out of the ballpark. The fans are going to get a great show, even though we're down to our 83rd best player who will show up to play in that All-Star game. We're going to see great talent out there, and the winner gets the home field advantage in the World Series. So it's a big event. Exhibition with the home runs, exhibition with the game, but the game does mean something in 2011.
Jason Bay 0 for 3. He's popped up and then grounded out twice. 42,123 watching here tonight in San Francisco. Giants getting 2 runs in the third and 2 runs last inning. Cut and a miss by Bay. Sergio Romo throwing in the bullpen. That fine bullpen for San Francisco.
Yeah, part of that core, as much as we talk about the starters, the bullpen really is one of the best in baseball.
Crawford a busy shortstop in this inning. 2 down. They're going to bring up Nick Evans to hit in the 6th spot for Duda. We talked about that American League Home Run Derby team. It is awesome. David Ortiz, the team captain. He chose Jose Bautista. He chose teammate Adrian Gonzalez, who is having an MVP year, and Robinson Cano.
Well, Adrian Gonzalez had a home run this year on a fastball in where he said after he hit it to Terry Francona, he said, I'm going to go Ichiro on him. And he knew he was going to be pitched in. He bailed and wailed and hit one an awful long way. And we're going to see some Ichiro out of him in the Home Run Derby.
Well, I hope so, because this is the first All-Star game Ichiro is missing in his career, both in Japan and in America here. And so maybe there'll be a little Ichiro present there for all those Japanese fans and Seattle Mariner fans and baseball fans who have seen Ichiro's great play over the years.
Is Ichiro in decline, or is it just an off year?
Maybe yes and yes. Maybe it's just an off year, but it seems like he is in decline.
But when you have an off year, as you get older, everybody goes, you're in decline. But then, you turn around and come back, and now you're Derek Jeter, and you go 5 for 5, get your 3,000 hit, and you're hitting 270 when you were hitting, 180 to 210 and 220, and everybody's going, he's done. And the whole season, it's a long body of work.
Exactly. He's not in the All-Star game, but I would not bet against
200 hits.
him getting 200 hits.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How many years has he done that?
Every year.
Yeah.
Well, the crowd's still very much into it here on the Bay. High fly ball, that one deep to left field, racing back. Rowan turning around, she is gone. Evans, who has not been swinging a very good bat, but does here, blasts one out of the ballpark. And that's how the Mets get on the board for the first time tonight with 2 down in the 8th inning. It makes it 4-1 Giants. So a little bit of late life here for the Mets.
Fastball in, Oral.
Well, it was an outstanding swing, and I'll tell you what, the Mets offense has not been there. That's their 7th hit, 5 for extra base hits, 9 base runners, but they've been 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position.
Romo coming in, so Bruce Bochy has made the call to the bullpen. We'll be back with more in a moment. 4-1 Giants here in San Francisco. The Mets have scored on a big blast by Nick Evans coming off the bench, and that'll bring on Sergio Romo. Maybe not the beard you think of when they say fear the beard in San Francisco, but he can pitch.
This young man is really, really good. Tell you, 2.17 ERA, but against right-handed hitters who he's about to face, they are only hitting 133 off of him.
You know, guys, there's a lot of things that have been talked about the Mets and what they haven't done and about the turmoil this season. But what they have done for 10 years is that they've supported the children who were left behind after 9/11, for the first responders who were lost during that horrific event. And Jay Horwitz, the PR director, along with the Wilpom family, have aligned with the first responders and many of the city agencies to head up their 10th anniversary of Tuesday's Children in New York. It's a wonderful mentoring foundation that was set up, and my hat and everyone's hats off to what the Mets have done for 10 years to support so many people within the city.
You're here.
Here indeed.
Ronnie Polino here with 2 men out and the base is empty for the Mets. The Giants have out hit them 12-7 on this Sunday night. Bruce Bochy going to his bullpen for the second time this evening. That one drifted away, and a count to 2-2 on Polino. Romo looking for the strikeout here. And a breaking ball gets it. Strike 3 called. So the Mets have to settle for the 1 run on the homer by Evans in a pinch. 4-1 Giants. Ball is presented by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. And in part by PNC for the achiever in you. Bobby Valentine, Oral Hershiser, Dave O'Brien alongside on a very, very pretty night here in San Francisco. The Giants have a 4-1 advantage on the New York Mets, and we're deep into it. Last half of the 8th inning, Emmanuel Burris is the pinch hitter, and Manny Acosta is the new pitcher. So both managers have gotten really active here over the last couple of innings. Evans is also in the game at first base. He took over after hitting a home run coming off the bench. In between innings, they also showed the score on the big board. The United States victory on penalty kicks over Brazil today in a sensational come from behind victory. One on PKs after the 2 extra sessions. Fly ball deep into right center field. That's going to be between the outfielders. No, it won't. Pagan, nice, going to chase that one down. Nicely done. Long way to go, but he made the catch. As we give you a look at Acosta's numbers coming into tonight.
You see 7.36, but his last 6 outings, 5 out of the 6 of them, he has been scoreless. So he's starting to get his act together with those 11 innings. Those numbers can come down quick if you start putting up some zeros.
That'll send up Andres Torres, and tonight he has factored in the scoring for the Giants, a double and a run. He's also walked and struck out twice. I was going to say it was a huge hand when they put that score up there for the U.S. women's soccer team, which knocked off Brazil. And you can see that game replayed at midnight tonight on ESPN2 and at 9 o'clock Pacific. If you missed any part of it or all of that game, you're going to want to see that match. It is amazing. Polino out to chat with his pitcher. MLB.TV is baseball everywhere. You can watch over 100 live out-of-market games per week online and on your favorite device. Visit MLB.TV for details. USA Next will play France on Wednesday in the Women's World Cup in Germany. Brian Wilson is up. Right now, a 3-run game. High fly to right, but foul. 0-2 on Torres. And fastball 96 miles an hour. Base is empty, 1 out. Turner into shallow right and puts it away, and they're 2 down. A closer look at Brian Wilson over his last 5 appearances. Is this a man in need of an all-star break? 2 blown saves and an ERA of 7.20.
And they'd love to get him a positive outing today just so he can have a good feeling going into that all-star break. Bruce Bochy even talked about hoping to give him the day off, thinking that maybe he had a little bit of a tired arm from the work here at the beginning of the year. But you can't keep the ball from that man's hands. If there's an opportunity for a save, he's going to want the ball.
Fontenot takes a strike. Is his velocity dipping here?
It's been his last outing. It was down a good 3-4 mile an hour. Maybe he's just a little out of sync, or maybe he does have a little bit of a tired arm, but we'll get to see here in the ninth.
And the Giants, along with the Atlanta Braves, have really used their closers and setup men an awful lot here in the first part of this season. Both Venters and Kimbrel are going to the All-Star game. Combined, they're just about 100 appearances.
Hot shot, another hit for Fontenot, his 3rd of the night. It rolls down the line. Beltran to pick it up and into second base with a double is Mike Fontenot. They have a chance at those 7 runs after all. Still 3 away.
Bruce would like at least 1 more so he doesn't have to bring Brian Wilson into this game. It would negate a save situation.
And now he does have another right-hander throwing down that line next to Wilson. And Pablo Sandoval, their top hitter these days, about to dig in. Santiago Casilla up for the 2nd time.
And he's there in case this becomes a 4-run or more lead for the Giants.
Cut on and missed by Sandoval, who's gone 1 for 4 with an RBI double. Into the dirt, and he swung and missed, and it's 0-2.
And the more you watch Sandoval hit, the more you wonder why anyone ever would throw him a fastball strike. He's up there swinging. He's confident. But if he feels if he could reach it, he can hit it. And I would test that reach zone of his. I'd throw him fast, but I'd throw him about eye high up and out over the plate. Otherwise, a breaking ball in the dirt.
Slapped and caught by Turner. And the side is retired, so we'll see if it will be Wilson coming on, and it will. A 4-1 lead. He is trying to protect. Brian Wilson coming on. 25 saves on the season, a 6-2 record, an ERA of 3.
And he's been kind of a cardiac closer this year. In 31 of his 42 games, he's allowed a base runner.
That one popped up down to right field. I saw the ball a long run. Can't get to it. Burris staying in the ball game at second base for San Francisco. Emmanuel Burris. Tejada tonight has struck out twice and taken a walk. We are in the 9th inning and a 3-run lead for the Giants. 1 ball and 1 strike. Willie Harris has come to the on-deck circle here now for the Mets. Pounded in there at 93 for a strike, and it's 1-2.
Well, that is a good sign. The radar gun, the location was a little up, not where he wanted it, but a good sign for the Giants that the life is in the arm tonight. He pitched 3 games in a row. Took a loss on Friday, was unavailable yesterday because of the 3 games in a row.
At 94 to strike him out. 1 gone in the 9th.
Instead of a slider, instead of the 2-seamer, ability to get the ball back close to the mid-90s. Fastball for a strike, up just barely in the K zone, and then blow it by you right there. That's the Brian Wilson that the Giants want to see. That makes you fear the beard.
Here's Willie Harris to pinch hit with 1 away in the 9th.
I tell you, you could build a condo in that beard now. I mean, you'd have that commercial where they show the people down there dancing around, hair follicles on his face. I'll tell you what, Got a city in there now.
It's taken on a life of its own, hasn't it? All sorts of marketing opportunities.
So many memories created. These kids who are in this stadium today with beards on, replicating him. 20 years from now, we'll say, I remember back in 2011.
Slap toward first, and it took a heck of a bounce by Sandoval into the right field corner, and digging for two, Harris. Sandoval diving near that line, but what a bounce it took.
Willie Harris is a pinch hitter extreme who likes the fastball, and as Pablo dove for that ball, think it would stay down, it came up after it hit something and almost hit him in the head.
Boy, it did. Almost got him.
See him look back to see what did that hit. It hit some of the footprints that the runners have been making.
So that'll bring up Pagan, who's hitless tonight, 0 for 3.
Right now, if you're in the Met dugout, you want to see Beltran one more shot, get up with a chance to tie this game. I mean, one of the next two guys have to get on base.
The Mets have 8 hits tonight, 6 of them for extra bases, but only the 1 run on a homer by Evans. The count 2-0. Winner of this one wins the series. Across for a called strike.
They're both really in a good place. The Mets unexpectedly keeping their head above water, trying to compete for a National League wild card, chasing Philadelphia and Atlanta, and the Giants in first place. Last year, 4th place.
They'll be in first no matter how this game turns out. Flicked foul by Pagan. Justin Turner, who's had a big night with 3 hits, is on deck. And as Bobby V mentioned, Carlos Beltran, if they can get it to him. Crowd of 42,000 wants to see a strikeout here. The 2-2 to Pagan. Now 3-2.
A 3-run lead. This is a fastball right down the middle, probably elevated because he's 93 to 96 miles an hour. I don't think he's going to try and trick anybody.
Harris at second, 1 away. He spoiled it. Still 3-2.
It's strength against strength time for Brian Wilson. You know what's coming. I'm just going to try and beat you to the spot. If you don't hit it solid, maybe you'll make an out for me also.
Wilson's 3-2. Got him swinging. He struck him out. Down and in to fan him.
Earlier in the game, we talked about you get to 3-2 and you recognize a hitter is in swing mode, that he's being aggressive. You make a ball look like a strike, end up a ball. He decided to trick him right there. He made it look like the last fastball right down the middle that he fouled off. Instead, this is a slider. He comes to the right side of the ball, spins that ball right to left. That ball darts down and in to the left-hand hitter. And you see he is way out in front expecting the heater.
So here's Turner, who has 2 singles and a double, hits a high fly ball into left, racing back. Rowan still racing, can't get it. It takes a bounce and it's up and into the stands and into second base, and stopping there is Turner, who has his 4th hit of the ball game, and that makes it 4-2. So not done yet, and for the first time all night, the Mets have a hit with a runner in scoring position. They had been 0 for 10.
Another one of those pitches up for Turner. Starts it early knowing it's going to be a fastball. Puts a great swing on it. It's a home run in a lot of parts and just misses Rowan's glove in the left field.
Automatic double, and here's Beltran at home plate representing the tying run. And a man who has been the talk of the city of San Francisco the last couple of days. Bounding ball foul off first. He seemed in his quote the other day to be saying that, yes, I would accept a trade to the Giants. When asked about that, didn't say specifically the Giants, but he certainly didn't shoot it down. He talked about playing for a contender if they traded him. Cut on and missed, and it's 1-2. He's going to be on the same plane with Brian Wilson, heading to Phoenix after this game is over.
I don't think they'll be sitting next to each other.
Got him! Ball game. Giants win it 4-2. And the Giants are the ones flying into the break as they take the series against the New York Mets, and they are in first place this time. Unlike last year, they were way down in the standings at the All-Star break. Wilson gets all three of the outs on strikeouts, and the Giants beat the Mets 4-2. Coming up at the top of the hour on ESPN, stay tuned for SportsCenter. Tonight's Chevrolet player of the game is Nate Shearholtz. Had a big night at the plate as he went 4 for 4 with a double and an RBI and a run scored. So a big night for him and for the San Francisco Giants. Into the win column tonight here on the Bay. And they are a first place team here in 2011 at the All-Star break for the first time since 2003. Sports Center coming up. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Oral Hershiser, Bobby Valentine, Wendy Nixon, Buster Olney, I'm Dave O'Brien saying good night from San Francisco. Now